I thought you were going to...
Hey, Ian. I have somebody that wants to say hello to you.
Hi Ian, how's it going? Hopefully I'll see you one day. Just want to say what's up. I was totally put on the spot, but anyways, you're cool.
Boom! Vin out!
Sori out. Lindsay out. Lindsay out.
We gotta let this girl get some rest.
Ultimate Musings out.
Yeah. I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
And Culpy and Chip and Ghosty.
So
we are gonna do a show review.
We went to a Cradle of Filth show.
We did.
We had we saw Raven Black, Wednesday 13, and Cradle of Filth. We didn't get to see Wednesday 13, and the reason we didn't get to see the Wednesday 13 show was because we were interviewing Raven Black,
which was cool. That is actually already out, so if you're interested in that interview, check it out. I really liked them. It was fun sitting at the table.
We were trying to get hooked up with them at the Static X show, but we weren't able to connect with them, but that's all right. We'll run into them again for sure. But yeah, so we saw, first of all, on the way to the venue,
yep,
I'm talking to Lindsay. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna be there, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, great. And I'm like, where should we go to get the passes? Now, I had talked to Lindsay. I had talked to the big homie like 2 months before. And she's like, yeah, come to the show, yada, yada. Just give me your names, I'll get you on the passes, yada, yada, yada. So I go to, so we're like literally, this is when we're in Boston.
Yeah.
So we're 10 minutes away from the venue. And I'm like, where do we go to pick up our passes?
It was like a couple weeks away from delivery.
Yeah, she's like,
Orion.
She's like, wait a second. You don't have the passes?
Vin's like, oh no.
She's like,
I was like,
no.
what?
First she goes, wait, you guys didn't buy tickets? And I said, no, Lindsay. I asked you about the passes. She goes, oh, okay. So I don't know what she did. She hustled down there, got us passes like 10 minutes before the show.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it wouldn't have happened. Like,
right.
They would have been like, okay, turn around.
I guess we just took a drive.
So, anyway, that was the funny part of the thing was like, we were late to the we almost never even made it to the show because
we were messaging
Musings too, right? We had
gonna meet us there.
Ultimate Musings. That's the guy with the most ultimate Sori secret pose on the Iron Throne.
Yeah. He was gonna meet us at the show. I was glad he was going because I was so pregnant at the time.
Yeah,
that I was like, what if I get like crunched?
Yeah.
But it wasn't like that. I'm always afraid that people are going to be mean, and they're not.
Yeah, the metal community is
yeah.
Plus, I mean,
it's different than it looks.
We had photo passes, so we were able to get past the barricade. So you were like completely fine. Yeah. And so the reason I was texting Lindsay, it wasn't because I wanted to get in, because I already assumed that was taken care of. The major issue was I wanted to know where on the stage you're going to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, yeah, we wanted to rock where Lindsay was, but
right.
that was hilarious. Like, it was so funny. And so anyway, we get to the venue, we meet up with Musings, right? Ultimate Musings, and then we were all like a little crew. Yeah. And Liz was like, yeah, let's hang out after the show, da-da-da-da. So I was like, all right, bet. So I'm like, oh my gosh, we're not gonna make it. But Lindsay worked her magic. We walk in there, we had the passes. You can keep your passes. I don't get to keep my passes because I'm too sweaty in my passes.
You always put it on your chest.
I didn't have my Static X pass. I didn't have my Static X pass, and I didn't have my my Cradle of Filth pass.
Yeah, if you just put it on your arm, they stay there longer.
But Sori kept hers. That's probably gonna be the thumbnail. That should be the thumbnail. Little pass. It's pretty badass. So anyway, we get the passes. Musings gets us ticket. We walk in and we see the big homie Russ. Remember Russ?
Yes.
Big homie Russ, he's like, what's up, man? Every time I see Russ at the show, he always buys me a beer. I appreciate you.
I know.
And then, like, all of a sudden, the whole place gets quiet, and then we hear shh, because that's how she starts the show, in Raven Black. And we had just done a Raven Black review, like, that day. And then, there they were!
Yeah, twinkle, twinkle, little stars.
Yeah. So they start, and they start their show, and it was pretty crazy, because, like, they've got this like carnival.
Yeah.
There's like a carnival type energy going.
Yeah.
And and it was funny because I was talking to the guitarist from the band. Me and him were talking like 2 minutes before they got on stage, and then her stage presence was crazy.
Oh, I know.
You've got to be there to see.
Yeah.
Like, she's very small. Like, she's up to like your shoulder.
Cute.
But like, it's like really cool. She's got a bear. She's got the thing, and then like when I was first going to shows, like Slipknot was the only band where like they made a point to make a good show and to do something like different and to look different. And now you got Wednesday 13. You got a lot of bands now that like there's a visual aspect to their show, and I love that. Like, I hate the rock show and the guys in a tank top and sandals. Like, I can't stand that.
Right.
But so they were like, they came out and she was pretty dark. She started the whole show.
She was like talking in the back. She was like in this little thing.
Yeah. And she was like getting everybody's attention. Like, and then it got all quiet, and then they blasted off for like a 15, 20 minute set. They did really, really, really good. And then the guitarist was like, yo, I was like, what's good, bro? And then that's how we were able to hang out and talk about doing an interview. And we set up an interview right there. And that is difficult to do. Like, I'm not gonna name the band, but I called up somebody's publicist on the day of the Static X show. It was like 2 hours before the show, and they're like, nah, that's like way too, So for them to do that like impromptu at the venue out of nowhere, like that's like, that's
a
pretty
big deal.
cool.
You know what sucked too for them? Was they paid for certain things like lights and stuff that never worked out for them at the show.
Yeah.
And like, that's frustrating to like pay and expect something, but they rocked it all the same. Like, you didn't know.
You couldn't tell.
No, you couldn't tell. You didn't know there was a problem. With me, when something doesn't go exactly as I was expecting to, it really irritates me. So it's gonna take me a minute to kind of like regroup.
Yeah.
They just went right with it.
Yeah. They went right with it. The venue was kind of small, but they went right with it. And unless you talked to them, you wouldn't have known that was an issue. Right. But they were so cool, and they were completely accessible. I thought that was crazy. Like, see, this is your only experience with rock shows, is that you have all this ridiculous access. Like, for a normal person like me going to rock shows, like, you never got that type of access, like, at all. You had to wait. First of all, to get the front row at Slipknot, we had to wait like, 8, 9, literally 9, 10 hours before the show started, just to make sure that we could get in the front row. And I'd have killed to be able to be behind the gate. Are you kidding me? Like, that would have been insane.
Oh, it's fun.
So, like, your access to shows, like, the fact that these are your first shows is ridiculous. It's insane. Were you doing camera for Never with Scars, or did we just have guest passes?
No, we just had guest passes.
Yeah, but again, it put us in the very,
That's
very,
when we
very
were
front
like,
of the show.
hey, people can go behind the gate to take pictures.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like,
that's when we started.
Okay.
So, Raven Black goes on. Then we score the interview with Raven Black. So we miss Wednesday 13, and then Cradle comes on. But we were in the middle of we wrapped up our Raven Black interview, and so like Lindsay. So I'm talking to Raven Black. Lindsay texts me. She's like, "Yo, I'm gonna be on the show. I'm gonna be on the right side of the stage." Da, da, da. I'm like, "All right, bet, cool." And then she's like, she's funny. I'm not gonna say what she.
Oh,
remember that?
Yeah.
Did I say that or no? Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. I was kind of like, I don't know if we should.
We're not gonna share that, dear listener. So anyway, we go. It was very, very crazy to see somebody that you just talk to all the time in like rock star mode. It was very weird to me, and like it was. And again, like, it's Cradle of Filth. Like, she looks like she belongs up there. You know what I mean? Like, and she was in rockstar mode. She had her, what is it? Not Mephisto. What's
these like horns?
The one that the bad fairy.
Maleficent.
She had the Maleficent thing going on, and she was up there. And it was like it was like so weird to process. Like, okay, this is a person I talk to all the time, and and we talk about YouTube and. Just everything. She sent me the vegan, book and like just regular person. But then it's like, whoa! Like, I was like, what in the world? They are so good live, Cradle of Filth.
Oh yeah.
Cradle of Filth is ridiculously good live. They really, really are. And one of the things that was interesting to me, I walked in, I'm like, okay, this is a very small venue. Because I'm like, I've seen, you see YouTube videos of them and they're playing in front of quadrillion people. And it's like, like you go into a club, a small club like this, it's like, oh, they're gonna, they're gonna mail it in, I mean, it's not a big, but like when I compare the videos that I saw with the big festivals and them, like,
there's no difference in their performance.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Like they were, I mean, you're seeing them rock out and all like that. That was the show, and it was really cool to be able to like be right there, like on the ground level. You being able to get on stage and take pictures and all that crap. Like that was absolutely crazy. So Cradle just started rocking it crazy live. I take from Danny though that he is just from the way that he writes and he does his art, like he wants it, doesn't matter how big or small the venue is, he wants the crowd to have the best experience possible.
Right.
And that was one of the things that got me about Cradle was like, they've been playing for such a long time, and I get it, the lineup changes here and there, but like they played the show. I mean, you could see it right now. I mean, they're jumping around, doing whatever. Like they played that show as if they had never played a show before. So it's like he wanted to make sure that thing was like top-notch quality. Yeah. And so like, but we were like very, 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 very close. I mean, like we were like, the venue was not as big as I thought it was gonna be.
No.
And we were like right there, like on stage.
I went onto the stage at some points, like up the little stairs.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe nobody's kicking me out of here. But I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna go, and if somebody tells me to get out, I will. Yeah. But at least I went.
Yeah. If you do it with a lot of conviction and confidence.
I know people. They didn't say anything, so.
Yeah. So
I'll tell you what, I kept tripping on everything back there because it was so dark and I was so pregnant that I was like. And then there was another time, like my legs were so tired and stuff, and I leaned up against this thing. I was like, I need to just I was starting to get like dizzy and stuff, because Vin had told me you should get something to eat when we were doing the Raven Black interview, but I didn't want to be like on the interview.
They were gonna share their fries with us.
Yeah, but I was like, no, I'm good, or whatever. Well, I started getting lightheaded partway through the Cradle of Filth hadn't been out there for very long, and then I started getting lightheaded.
She's like, Vin, I'm gonna collapse. Da da da. I was like,
I'm gonna faint.
Oh,
here.
You mean you needed to eat that? So we had to leave. There was a bar.
Well, wait, I went to lean on this thing that I thought it had wheels on it. You don't even know that this happened.
No, I didn't.
The whole thing
just now
rolled
finding
back.
this out.
And I like stumbled to catch myself, and I was like, oh my gosh, I literally just almost landed on the floor. The ground, it would have been so like cement, and oh my word. So yeah, then I came to you.
So we tried to go to the restaurant where we interviewed Raven Black. You know what's funny? Is we were interviewing Raven Black while they were playing, while another band was playing, and then we were interviewing Tony while Raven Black was playing. Just figured that out.
Yeah.
So we tried to go to the same restaurant that we had just interviewed Raven Black on, but we couldn't.
Well, when we were interviewing Raven Black, it was right in the venue. I thought for sure they would have stayed open until the show was done, and a little bit after, because you would think that people want to eat something after, but no, they don't. They close early. Who knew? And so I was thinking, well, I'll just run out there and I'm just gonna grab. Okay, when we were doing the interview, one of them, I don't remember which one of them, I'm pretty sure that it was her, had like these chicken fingers that looked wicked good, and I was like, I can't wait to eat those chicken fingers. And then we got there, the guy was like, yeah, the kitchen's closed, just sorry. So then we had to go somewhere else. You were so irritated with me because you were like, why didn't you just eat when I told you to eat?
Well, we always have this discussion. And my philosophy, I've been trained to, if you need to take care of something, take care of it when it's there, because you cannot assume. There's a million contingencies about the future that you can't assume. So if the thing is in front of you, take care of it then. Which the food was in front of us during the Raven Black interview. We should have took care of it then, but we didn't. We assumed that the restaurant would be open. So we go there. Of course, the restaurant is not open. They're closed. So we had to exit the building and go across the street to some restaurant.
And while we were in that restaurant, it took forever to get the food because they started telling us the story about the girl with DJing.
The fight.
Yeah.
There was a fight at the restaurant.
Yeah.
There was a fight at the restaurant, like literally across the street. It's hilarious.
And like the girl, like somebody got slapped in the face.
Yeah, yeah.
The DJ slapped the girl in the face.
Yeah, and the girl that got smacked was there talking our ear off or whatever.
Right, and the guy was going slow. I was like, oh my gosh, I felt so stressed out. And
if we weren't on a time crunch, I would have been like completely fine.
But Cradle of Filth was already up.
But I'm stewing in rage at this point because
I was like,
I
I'm
wanted
like, just leave me here, go over there, which I knew he wasn't gonna do.
I'm gonna leave my pregnant wife in Boston after she just almost collapsed. We missed Lindsay's entrance onto the stage, which is something I really wanted to see. But that was for a good cause because we were interviewing Raven Black. Then they get on stage, I'm jamming, and I was really like, man, they better not play Her Ghost in the Fog without me there. So I was really, really angry. But at the same time, she was feeding Orion, she was eating. My big thing was she was acting like she was gonna faint. The other thing about Sori people don't know is that you had fainting spells even before you were pregnant.
Right.
So that was my major issue, and there's no like rhyme or reason or warning to it. Like,
so frustrating.
You'll just be having a regular day, and then her eyes kind of droop, and then like you gotta catch her, or else she will. That's it.
Yeah.
So add that to being pregnant. So I looked like I was pissed, but I was more like worried than pissed because I was like, oh my god, like, you know what's gonna. But then of course eating contributes to it. When you're full, you do better than not. And like when she was pregnant, like I used to have to schedule her feedings.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Because I would forget to eat.
Right, and then we'd have to go somewhere, like an appointment or a show or something like that. She'd be like, oh, you need to stop here, I'm hungry, da-da-da. I'm like, so anyway, we're in the middle of Cradle of Filth show. I'm missing this band that I'm like, you know, but we didn't miss a lot of it.
Well, I was like, let's just go. Let's tell them to pack it to go. And you were like, there's no point, it's done anyway. I was like, I don't think it's done. I'm like, and I was praying. I was like praying so hard at the bar. I'm like, Lord, please let Cradle of Filth be on longer.
I didn't want you to eat it on the go. Because I had to see that you were eating and that you were okay. So I wasn't going to do it like on the go. Because like I had to watch you.
Well, you did. When I said, I was like, let's just go. I'm like, no, I think it's going to be good.
I had to see you eat though.
So we packed up the stuff. I grabbed one of the chicken nuggets and we like.
The girl was
back
still
into
talking
the show.
to us about the fight.
We're like, we gotta go.
Yeah, like thank you very much.
So we went back in and like Cradle, they were up for a lot longer. Like.
Well, they were the main.
Yeah, I know, but you were thinking when we were in there, you're like, they're gonna be done anyway. But they were up for quite a few more songs, so I was very happy about that. And so I like kept like eating and like snapping pictures. And Lindsay was laughing after because when we met up with her, like I still had the food. I was like munching on my carrots and celery sticks.
But yeah, so they were killing with the show, and then Her Ghost in the Fog came on, and it was like toward the end. So I knew like this is probably gonna be the last song. And Her Ghost in the Fog came on. I'm like, yes.
So you didn't miss it.
So I didn't miss it. They did great. Danny rocked it. Everybody, right? It was a crazy, crazy show. They ended really, really well. And then that was the end of the show. So it was me, you, and Musings again. Mm-hmm. And Lindsay's like, hey, can you stay over so we can hang out? I'm like, of course, no doubt. We're going to hang out. She's like, all right, cool. I'll be up in 10 minutes. So now I'm like, how am I going to get...
All right.
How am I gonna get Musings up, right? Like, because
we had to go upstairs to meet up with her.
Right.
And like when we got there, the guy was like, we're like, oh, we're supposed to be meeting up with Lindsay. And then he looks at you like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then we're like,
well, that's the thing. I'm with the band.
Yeah.
That's
well,
the thing.
yes,
I'm with
I know.
The band.
Yeah.
Sure.
So he was like, yeah. And then you were like, well, I mean. You like started pulling up her text message or something like that, and then but the guy's like, that means nothing to me, and then you were like, nah, that's fine, we'll just, because I had messaged Lindsay and Lindsay said, yeah, I'll come down and get you guys.
Yeah.
So she came down. So Vin's like, all right, you want to tell what you did? Where you like took your photo pass?
Oh, I took my photo pass and I stuck it onto Musings.
Yeah.
So that the guy wouldn't mess with him.
Right.
So.
Like, I always feel uncomfortable about stuff like that because, like, I'll be, like, kind of, like, honest to a fault and I'll tell way too much information because I'm, like, wanting, so once you stuck that photo pass the thing, I'm like, oh, no. So we, like, go upstairs and then, like...
It went through
It did. It went right up, no problem. But then Lindsay was like, so how long have you done media for them? And I was like, ah! Inside, I'm like, what do we do? And then he was, I was like, I'm not saying anything. I'm not gonna lie to Lindsay about this. And then, but I was like, I'm feeling so awkward. And then Ultimate Musing, he's like, then he just basically said, like, I don't do any with them. And then Vin was like, yeah, he's like, I gave him the pass so that way he could come up. She didn't care at all. Like, it was no big thing, but like, I thought it was going to be a big thing.
No,
so I felt so uncomfortable.
I knew she was going to be fine because Musings had bought, like, Lindsay's got her own stuff, and he bought a shirt or something like that from her. Like, I saw them on Twitter.
Yeah.
So, like, she kind of had a general understanding of who he was. But, you know, I mean, nothing's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? It was cool. But I decided, like, I decided we weren't going to break out the camera and talk to her after the show. Because we just wanted to hang out as friends. And it was a really, we just hung out, you know, but it was, again, it was like that mind-bending, because it's like, oh, it's this normal person I talked to on Twitter. Oh my gosh, it's this dark rock artist.
Yeah.
Oh, and then it's back to, you know, her tights and a t-shirt, and we're just chilling again and talk. It's like, and she has zero.
Not tights, he means pants.
Like, I don't think she has any awareness that she's like a big rock star. Like, she was just a regular person talking.
Yeah.
There was no like understanding that she was
she
something.
Wasn't like, I'm like better than you guys.
Yeah, it was just normal, and we just picked up the conversation like we always had them, and we laughed about not having tickets, and
there was so many different things. And you know, that's where I found out that they actually sell brushes that have mermaid tails. Because she said that she had a brush with a mermaid tail, and I'm pretty sure it got lost at one of the things.
Really?
Was it her? Was it that? Now I'm getting confused. Was it her, or was it that other girl that was saying it? Because it was other people that were up there.
Yeah,
Anyway, I started getting super tired. Like, my legs were killing me.
I know.
And I was like, I can't do this anymore. But I'm like not good at saying, I need to go now.
Yeah.
So I like tried to like sit down, which was like ridiculous. It was so painful. Like, my hips and everything were hurting so badly.
I mean, if you think about it, a rock show is really like 4 or 5 hours of straight standing up. Like, you're just standing up, and it's also like you're jumping around, and
I wasn't jumping.
Or if you're doing media, you're running around trying to get a good angle. Like, it's not like it's not a spectator sport. It's, you know. It
was cute because Ultimate Musing was like, when he saw me like doing it, he was kind of like, oh, he's like looking around. He's like, oh, if I could get you a chair or something. It was really cute. And then you were talking, and then all of a sudden you turned around and you saw that I was like trying to like sit on this. There was like a ledge that was like this big, and I was like this big, and it wasn't working to sit on this.
Yeah.
And then you were like, all right, well, we got to wrap it up, you know, because you wanted to get me off my feet, which was super cool because.
Yeah, and as we were wrapping up, Richard from Cradle of Filth just sat down, you know, just randomly somewhere, and I'm just like talking to Lindsay, and I look over, and there's like, this is a guitarist.
Oh, I didn't even see him.
Yeah, and he's another, like, he's extreme. His stage presence is crazy. Like, he plays hard the whole time, and he's just sitting down there chilling with his friend. I'm like, hey. He goes, hey, and he kind of. It's that look that people have when they see you and they notice you from somewhere, but they don't know who you are. I was like, what's up, man? I was like, man, you killed the show, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, but he was still, and I was like, you know, we reviewed a couple of, you're those guys that watch you on the bus, hey. Yeah, he was really cool. He wanted to talk, you know. They're just so cool. Like that. From when we did our first reaction to her Ghost in the Fog, like, if you'd have told me, hey, you're gonna meet those guys, you're gonna meet the guitarist and the I'm like, nah, that's crazy. And like, here it was just chilling, like they were no pretensions whatsoever. They were really, really cool.
Yeah.
It was they're really, really good people. Didn't get to hang out with Danny because he's smart and and he stays behind and he doesn't want to get mobbed by people. Good gosh. I've heard some crazy stories about, you know, just what they go through, like fans taking pictures and people saying, yo, chill, I don't really want that picture up, and taking it anyway and following them and doing all types of crazy stuff.
That's wrong.
Lindsay's like, now I see why Danny's so guarded. Like, yeah. Like, I wouldn't be good with that either.
No.
See, that's the thing. It's like, I'm not good with stuff like that. You know, like in the public, people like just like. You know, but the folks that we did meet were awesome. We loved it, and that's I'm very, very happy that we didn't, like I said, the backstage discussion was about 45 minutes. We were hanging out, but I didn't want to put that on video because I wanted to, like, there's a distinction between work and just hanging out with your friends, you know what I mean? So that was that, and shout out to Ultimate Musing for doing our media for us.
Yep. Well, Amy did carry the stuff.
I forgot that she said that. Because I told him, I said, just stick around, I'll get you backstage.
Yeah.
I'll find a way, I'll get you back there.
Nice word.
But I mean, at worst, I was just going to tell him. It was fine.
I just didn't know it was going to be no problem. Like, I didn't know, like, how official are these things, and every person is different, and so, but she was cool with it, so.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Awesome show. If you can catch Cradle of Filth, you definitely need to go to that show because they are bananas. They are so fun live, and it doesn't matter how big or small the stage is. They're gonna give you every single red cent worth of what you paid for that ticket. For sure.
Also, 2 other things. One was stuff always happens to him. I don't know what it is, but something about him and food. Well, when we were there, when we got that food, I had it all in a bag. I literally don't know what happened. The bottom of the bag broke out, and all of Vin's food landed all over the floor on the venue. The venue.
I remember that. That was right after the show, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I was like, and now he has no meal.
Yeah. There you are.
That, and did you want to tell them about the shirt you were gonna print, or are you skipping that?
No, I'll skip it.
Okay, for those of you that were on the show, at the show, you know what he's talking about because you did discuss it with many people there. All right.
Yeah, I did. Well, Lindsay...
That was insider information.
Lindsay told me I should have wore it.
Yeah.
But you overruled it.
Yeah, I was like,
it would have been a good show. I probably would have got an interview with Danny if I'd have rocked that shirt.
You probably would have.
Well, hey, wife wins out. Go see Cradle of Filth.
Yep.
Support your local Maleficent. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.